Welcome in, welcome in. While you and Guthix were sleeping, I was going through it, so let me show you what I've learned. Starting off, here's what I used for Surok, I don't know. Keep in mind, I've only ran these bosses during the quest and decided to record to show how it's going to look, so what I'm listing probably isn't the best way to do these, and I'm hoping a visual may help you a little better than reading on the wiki. You still want the Squall's robes, and I brought a small gear switch to help a little bit. Also, don't forget to bring a Tele Orb and 1 Death Rune. I bring the Karam Bombs and stuff for quick heals, as I'm dog shit, and I was tanking a lot of hits. Now the powered stabs like the Trident and Warp Scepter will not work here. I auto-casted Fire Wave, and if you're using the normal spellbook, you also need runes for Telegrab, an Elking spell, Snare or Entangle, Weaken or Enfeeble. Also, according to the wiki, you can tank all of the damage and just use a high-level blood spell with your best magic robes, ignoring all of the special attacks. I chose not to for the sake of the guide, and I didn't feel like switching books. During the fight, I stood further away to give me more time to adapt to the attacks. Obviously, attack with magic and pray against magic. This dude's got a few special attacks to mind. He'll summon an Agile Warrior. If you watch the text, you can easily spot that he's the agile one by once he says something about being nimble. Use your snare or entangle and finish him off from there. Now, you don't want these guys to reach you, or you will be pinned down, and not in the 50 Shades way. Just keep on fighting, and once he spawns in this lit explosive, you have to telegrab it, you cannot pick it up, and then once it's in your inventory, either low or high elk it. Next, we have the special elemental surges. They're slower and can be directly attacked by the opposite element. For example, the water surge is negated by a fire spell, and the earth surge by an air spell. Make sure to use your spell on the surge coming towards you and not Surok himself. And that's how much damage you can take if you miss, so that's why I brought extra food. Here's another summon, his strength minion. Use Weaken or Enfeeble on this one before he reaches you. You can tell what he is without clicking on him when he mentions something about strength. Towards the end of the fight, he just does something terrible. You can try to negate these surges if you want, but I just quickly healed and tanked through it with the Karam Bombs. But do what you want, this worked for me. For the final fight against the elemental, think of it like a demonic gorilla. You want a magic, ranged, and melee weapon with the respected switches. Note that the elemental is weakest to the crush attack style and crossbow bolts. Here's the stats on that. Keep that in mind while making your build. I opted out for the zombie axe as it's my best crush weapon. As for the armor, bring what you like. This is how I did my switch. As long as you keep your prayers correct, you shouldn't really be taking damage here, but it can go south very quickly. Bring super restores. This is basically required. If you get hit, your stats will be drained as hell. Also, don't forget the Sapphire Lantern. This fight did take me a couple of attempts to get right. I've noticed when the fight starts, he's typically on his ranged phase. So before we begin, let's look at the phases. When the elemental is orange, it is using ranged. When it's blue, it's using magic, and when it is white, it is using melee. Make sure your prayer is correct first. You have a small window of time to change it, and if you miss that, you'll take some damage. Your stats will most likely be drained, and the elemental will take out your prayer very quickly. Now, what can keep you on track is actually counting out the elemental's attacks, as for every 4 times that it attacks you, it will switch its attack style. So on the 4th attack, just be ready to switch your prayer. Here's an example. He's on the blue phase, so I'm praying against magic, and after 4 attacks, I get ready to switch my prayers. Now the fight's going to get a lot faster as we go, which is why I'm yapping so much about maintaining the correct prayers first. His attack speed will increase at around 550 health, and we'll start using a protection prayer. At about 150 health, we get another speed increase, along with 2 protection prayers. But there's no point in beating off a dead horse. No point in beating a dead horse so much. Just pray the correct thing and attack him with a style he is not praying against. Obviously. Here's the footage of the fight so you can get the feel of it. It does get a bit more difficult as you go. If you miss a prayer and take some damage, do not panic, just work on getting your prayers back up, stats restored, and health healed. Try not to get over ambitious with damaging the elemental. The more important thing is that you live. So if you end up healing through a phase and don't do any damage, it's completely fine, just count those damn attacks, dude. Also, some quest tormented demons at the end. I might make a separate guide for those. Quest ones were super easy, just pray magic and attack them, and walk away if you see some balls of fire coming at you. I appreciate you for watching. Maybe consider subscribing as it really helps out the channel. And I also stream on Twitch if you want to come hang out sometime. Links in the bio, but until next time.
What's up? Are you seriously watching porn by yourself?
No, I'm with the science team.